Hello, and welcome to week 10. This week we're going to focus on the graphs of the trig functions. So section 5.4 is right triangle trigonometry. There's only one video to watch, and I suggest you watch it. It's an overview of right triangle trigonometry. It's a full lesson, and I want you to be familiar with the terms opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse when you're talking about sine, cosine, and tangent. Section 6.1 has 12 videos, and I'm just going to leave it up to you how many of those videos you want to watch, because that's a lot. But at a minimum, you need to know how to graph sine and cosine, and those are going to be the building blocks that we use to graph other functions that are transformations of sine and cosine. So on video 5, it's an overview of how to graph transformations of sine and cosine involving amplitude, period, and phase shift. And so you should know the formulas for amplitude and period and phase shift given one of these two equations. For example, the period, sometimes people use T for period, is 2 pi over B. Okay, and then section 6.2 is a little shorter. There's only 3 videos. How to graph tangent, and I suggest you watch that. Actually, suggest you watch all 3. How to graph cosecant and secant. Now, you don't have to memorize the graphs of cosecant and secant. You do have to memorize the graphs of sine, cosine, and tangent. However, in video 2, it shows you a way to graph cosecant and secant that doesn't require memorization, and it uses the graphs of sine and cosine. So I really like that approach. And video 3 is the negative angle identities. I call them the even odd identities. And in that handout that says trig identities you must know, you'll see them under tangent negative theta, sine of negative theta, and cosine of negative theta. And they're called even odd because sometimes we call them that. For example, sine of negative theta is negative sine of theta. That's a property of an odd function, whereas cosine of negative theta is cosine of theta. Now, tangent, you don't even have to memorize. Think of tangent as sine over cosine, and you get that one for free. This is negative tangent theta. All right, and that is it for my summary.